holidaymakers into Bournemouth, going through the beautiful Mendip Hills to the beaches of the Bourne Valley. So very, very famous train. And you can pop that one away if you don't mind holding on to that for me. Thank you. Fantastic. So as you can see, I've got my travelling museum collection with me today. There are 50 objects in the current collection to represent the 50 years since the railway has been gone. And what I've done is I've been perfecting a rather specially formulated kinesthetic archival technique to transform people's memories into physical form. Now, I realise that probably most of you are new to memory collection. Am I right? Yes? Not? Okay. So, for those of you who haven't done this act before, it's effectively taking someone's memory and representing it in a physical object. And so these jars here are what I call my memory jars. Now, they're incredibly precious, actually, and some of them are over 100 years old. So I'm just going to pop on my special handling gloves, so I don't want to damage them at all. Oh, there we go. Health and safety covered. Excellent. So each memory is in a jar, and each jar has a label on it to tell you more about the story inside. So I'll share one of my favourites with you. It's quite a big one to start with, but it's worth it, I promise. Fantastic. This here is my favourite memory. It's the Shilling Stone Rose. Now, this was a story told to me by a chap called Bob Downs, and he worked at Shilling Stone Station when he was a teenager just before the line closed. And he told me about a man called Dickie Bird, who was a regular guard here at the station. Dickie Bird was obsessed with gardening, and he was always found with a pair of pruning shears in his pocket, just in case he had to do an emergency snip whilst out on his rounds. It's a good job too, because the gardens at stations during this era were a really important part of the railways. In fact, it was part of their jobs looking after the station to have wonderful gardens, and some of them even had on-site greenhouses. Now, Dickie Bird was especially proud of the rose bushes that grew here at Shillingstone. But when the station was closed, he couldn't bear to think of his life without them. So he took a snipping for his own garden to plant at home. And rumour has it they still grow there 50 years on. Now, of course, we're here in RADSTOCK today, so I imagine you want to hear a story, a memory connected with RADSTOCK itself. So let me see what I can find. Where's it gone? I think I've had it to hand, wouldn't you? Here we go. Oh, fantastic. This one here I call the Monday Morning Moaners. Now, the ladies of RADSTOCK would like to hang their washing out traditionally on a Monday morning. Unfortunately, what would happen is, because of the Mendip Hills that we have here in RADSTOCK, is occasionally you'd get a rather overzealous fireman who would do what you'd call overfiring the engine. And what that would result in is a big cloud of umbrella of smoke coming out of the train as they were going down the hill. Unfortunately for the ladies of RADSTOCK, that often meant that their beautiful white laundry hanging up would be sprinkled with a layer of soot on the morning. So this is the RADSTOCK Ladies Monday Morning Moaners. So one there.